arrays. So we will now look at how to build arrays. So what is an array? So array is basically I want a list of ordered list of items. That's what I'm looking for, and I would want to use arrays to store information of similar types. Okay, so let me write that. Again, we have standard code here of, right, and I come here. Okay, so the first way, multiple ways you can write an array, define an array. So let's define an integer array AR with 5 elements. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's clear? Okay, so this is I have defined 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an integer array of 5 elements. So that's why, so the contents of the array are integer elements, are integers. That's why. Now I can check whether it's indeed correct. So let me write array of, okay, and I can even write an index here, int I is equal to, let's say, 0. So I'm going to print, okay, the array value at the ith location. Okay, and I'm going to print here slash n. Here. Okay, so just take a look. What will this output? What will this output? It should print array of 0 is equal to 1, right? Okay, so first few things you would write, array of 0 is equal to 1. Few things. The array starts from with the 0th index. 0 is the first index for an array, and this array contains 5 elements. So you have access to array at 0, array at 1, array at 3, at 2, array at 3, array at 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations. Okay, so you could have used array is equal to I is equal to 1. What would you get? You will get array of 1 is equal to 2. Clear? Okay, this is one way to write an array. Now you can also check the following thing. What happens if I print array at the 10th location? Let me compile. It's compiled properly. So that's one thing you should notice. The C compiler will not tell you that you are accessing an array at a location which is not accessible. Okay, this array contains only 5 elements, but we are trying to access it at a location 10, at an index 10, and the C compiler did not tell you. This is a very important point. This is very much different from Python. Python tells you when things go out of the array index, but C does not tell you. And now you can see what the output will be. In this case, /a.out. See, array at the 10th location is some random number. So it will be some random number. I could have written 15 here. I could have written 12. It will be some number. We can't predict what it is. Okay. So the thing to remember is that when you are playing with arrays in C, and if you are trying to access with an index greater than what is given, greater than the size of the array, you wouldn't know what is going to be the output. Okay, so so this is something you have to keep track, because sometimes you will your results will be completely wrong. That might be and you would know what is happening, and then you should remember. See, It's basically, maybe I didn't index an array properly. I am accessing an array out of its range. So keep in mind, this is going to happen a lot of time to C programmers, and you're going to struggle. But I mean, so you will also face the same thing, but at that time you will remember this fact and you will go and fix this thing. Okay, good. So now this is one way. So now let's go back. Array at 5, no, array at 4. There is no array at 5. It's again, you should notice that. See, there is no array at 5. Array index is only from 0 to 4. So array at 4 is the correct thing. The last element is at array at 4. Okay, and you have printed 5. Good. Now here is another way to give an array 1, let's say. So maybe the first one I will call it array 1 and second one array 2. Same thing, I can write 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay. You see what I did? I did not write the number 5. Okay. So what is it happening? So because I am telling the C program that this is an array. So when you have a bracket like this, I'm telling the C compiler that, okay, I'm trying to define an array called AR2 and that array contains 5 elements, because the C compiler can come here and check that it contains exactly 5 elements. So you don't have to specify the length here. Okay, so you could have, so this will work regardless of whether you specify or not. So this flexibility is with you. Let it be like this. No need to be. Okay, so you have this flexibility to not write how many elements are there. Okay. Okay, so this is good. Now comes the next thing. This is array of integers. What about an array of characters? I can have an array of characters. Let's say array of CHR, let's call it, and I can have it like this. Okay, good. So there are 5 characters I have, and it's an array with it's a character array. And if I want to print the character array, what will I do? I just write here, and I'm going to make it CHR character array, and I have to write basically the character %C. Okay, I can do it now. Compile, run. Character at 4 is equal to E, the last element, right? So now you know how to create a character, right? Okay, this much is clear. Okay. Now the next thing, a very important thing which you are all looking for, which is one of a very crucial type of array, is basically string. And strings are exactly defined like how we defined earlier, character array, but this is going to be a string. And how can I write a string? I can write a string, I can write here. So I have now defined a string here, and the definition of a string is basically a character array. So strings are going to be character arrays in C. Now obviously I can always access the, let's call it the, so this is the 0th letter, first letter, second letter, third letter, fourth letter. What is going to be? I should get O if I do this, right? So CHR, so it should be STR. So STR is O, right? And if I had made it 4, 5, 6, let's call it 6, I should get W, right? Now, so this is how you are not able to access a string, and each character of a string you can access it just like you access an array. Strings are arrays in C, and therefore you can access everything. But now an important thing which you want is you want to print a string, right? right? That's important. Now how do you print an entire string? I want to print an entire string, so that's where the next thing comes up. Let me add a printf to go to the next line. Just want to the next line, and in this next line I'm going to print the entire string hello world. How can I do that in C? I'm going to do like this. I'm going to write %s, s for string, %c for character, %d for integer, %f for float, and %s for string, and I'm going to write str. That's it. You can define a character and you can print a character array. Sorry, you can define a string as a character array, you can print it as a string, or you can access its element just like a character array. You have freedom to do both. And now I'm going to print that thing, and let me see. It's good. See, hello world. You have something to a way to print a character array, right? Okay, good. So now this is good, because now you can print strings. That makes you can store strings and you can print them. That makes one significant flexibility, right, in programming. Now this is one way. Okay, good. Now comes to the next. What else? Okay, now the next level. Next thing you would want to do is you'd want to build two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so let's before this string thing, what happens if I as we said, I can just play around with the string, right? So I can print each letter of the string. So let me try to print. This is the 0th letter, 1, 2. What is the length of the string? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, probably 12, right? So I started with 1, so it's 12. So I'm going to print. So let's try printing the 11th letter. I should get the last exclamation, as you could see, right? Str of 11 is exclamation, because it starts from 0. 0 will be h, and 12 is the length, so str of 11 is exclamation. What if I print the 12th thing? It's a blank. Okay, so what if I print the 13th string? Okay, it's a blank, but that's not that's by pure luck. So the 12th letter, did I say string? No, I'm wrong. I should have told the 12th character or 12th letter. The 12th letter is actually, when I define the string, actually they have added an extra letter in here, which basically says the end of string. Okay, so that's going to be the 12th letter. It's not printed there, but that's the 12th letter. The 12th letter is actually an end of string character, which is what happens. If you want, we can just take it as an integer value, and let's print it as an integer value. Int I can just num is equal to str at I just print that value, printf %d, add a slash in here, and yeah, so it's a slash. So that's an end of string character, which says that it's filled with 0 to say that okay, the string has stopped. Okay. Now that's the end of string. But you can. What if I do the following? Rather than printing, so let me just remove this, and I'm going to remove this also. What I can try to do is that I can try to print chr. As you could notice, both are of character arrays, right? So what happens if I print just this? I try to print that character array. Let's try that. Okay, see, it's something ABCD hello world etc. Why did it happen like this? Actually CHR is only ABCD and STR is hello world. Why did this happen? Okay, this is because if you write a character array like this, A, B, C, D, E, as we have shown as different letters, this is actually a character array, and you should think of it as a character array and it's not as a string. So in a character array, then after the end of character array, the 0 or the end of string letter is not added here. Okay. On the other hand, if it is a string as we have defined here with quotes, within quotes, then after that an end of string is added. That's why it does not stop with ABCDE. The percentage just does not stop with ABCDE. It just keeps on printing. It goes to the memory and it just keeps on printing there, ABCDE, and it looks at the next memory. Next memory position is this hello world, and then it keeps on printing there, and then it founds a 0 after that, and then luckily after that it stops. I can just do it. I can put it above there and see what happens now. So it's printing like that. It's strange, but I don't know. Actually, it should not have happened. Okay, so the memory is still it's still like that after A, B, C, D, E in the memory. After A, B, C, D, E, hello world comes, and that's why it's printed like this. Okay, so is that clear? So that because of there is no 0 here, so maybe I can add the 0 here and see what happens. Now I print. See, I added a 0 element, that stops. 0 integer, then it stops because the 0th entry in the the 6th entry in the character array is 0, and therefore if you try to print it as a string, the string stops at the 0th, the character which is 0. Okay, this is good to know. Now so these are good to know. Now comes the next type of array. What is the next type of array you are interested in? We are interested in two-dimensional array. So let's try to write a two-dimensional array. How can I write a two-dimensional array? So here is one way. Let's write AR2D, a two-dimensional array with, let's say, 2 rows of 5 elements each. Okay, I'm going to write them. So the first is going to be our it's a two-dimensional array. In the first row I have 5 elements, and in the second row I have another 5 elements. Okay, I'm going to put a semicolon. Remember that after every command you have to put the semicolon. Okay, good. So now you have these things. Now you can try to print this. So array 2D of percentage. So let's put it the 0th again. It starts from 0. So the first row is of size 2. So you can access it by 0 or 1. And the next is of size 5, so you can access from 0 to 4. So let me type I here, and I'm going to make I to be 4, let's say, and this is so I should not write I there. Percentage D is equal to percentage D, and then I write I comma AR2D of 0 of I. Okay, and let me now print it. See, it's 5. Okay, I'm getting 5. So let me have it make it 0 here, and what do you expect it to have? It has to be 1, right? Yeah, so it's 2D of okay, let me put a slash in here. AR2D of 0, 0 is equal to 1, right? What about if it's 1, 0? AR 2D of 1 0 is also equal to 1. How is that? I made a mistake. I made a printing mistake. I wrote here AR2 in my print. It is AR2D of 1, but what I tried to print is only the 0th entry. So I can add that also here. Int j is equal to 0, and I'm going to write here %d. J is going to be my first access point, and okay, j there. Okay, so and there j is equal to 1. Okay, AR2D of 1 0 is equal to 9. Good. So AR2D of 1 0 is equal to 9, and that's it. You know how to access a two-dimensional array, right? It's clear. Both the row and column ranges from 0 to size of that row or column. Here I can simplify it just like earlier. I need not mention how many. I can remove 2 here, and it will still compile. It still works fine. Good. It still works fine. But what if I remove this 5 also? Will it work? It doesn't work, right? So this is a compilation error. The compiler is saying no, I need to know how much size the next dimension of the array is. Okay, so you need to tell what that size is. The first dimension you can tell, you can leave the compiler to find out, but the second dimension you need the you should tell the compiler. Okay, this is one way. Now maybe I will try, finally I will just try to build an two-dimensional array of strings. So a list of basically an array of strings. Okay, str array. Okay, I'm going to have, so let me have this. Okay, first thing is, let's say hello world. How many? 5, 10. Okay, this has to be, let's make it 20. Okay, so I have made 2 strings basically, and I'm going to print that here by say str array. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to print it. Let me first print the 0th array, right, and then we can try to use some variable if you want. So what is a 0th array? The 0th array, so the 0th string is going to be hello world, so it should print hello world. Right, I'm going to compile. It compiled. It's running. Array of 0 is hello world. The 0th array is the 0th string is hello world, so it printed like that. Now let me print the first string. Okay, so first string is str1 is welcome to CS220. So you have now an array of strings. So you can add more here if you want. You can add I don't know what is it you want to add. Arrays are nice. Are they nice? Yeah, so array str array of 2. Yeah, so str array of 2 is arrays are nice, right? So you can you know how to create arrays of strings, arrays of integers, arrays of characters, etc., etc. You could have add this as float, you can have it as a float, let's say, and I make it 1.23 here and maybe 9.76 here. I'll just make this as, where is this? Okay, this is 0.2f, and it should work. So you should have, right? See, I just printed a float number. So you could have had a array of floats, array of characters, array of integers, etc. And the crucial fact, another important thing you should remember is strings are represented as arrays, and you can play around with it just like you play around with an array. But you also have this extra additional capability to print a string at one stretch using printf command and the %s. Okay, that's it in arrays.